whatever it is, you're always chasing some sort of feeling. Boom, emotional outcome. I'm gonna give you guys the exact framework on what it looks like. Yo, what is going on? Welcome to this training. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the simple discovery framework. So instead of using BANT, which is budget, authority, need, and time, this is something that I personally have my setters use to get a lot more detailed answers and be a lot more process focused when it comes to getting specific outcomes on the setting call, okay? There's actually 7 different outcomes, but before I even get into that, I'm gonna explain to you what logical outcomes are and what emotional outcomes are. Different types of phrases that prospects will typically use. Let's get into it. Now, as you guys, I'm sure you guys can't tell, but this right here is supposed to be your brain, okay? This is the heart for emotional since it's part of emotion, but a logical answer that a prospect would give you is something like, okay, I'm working too many hours. When I go to work, it's too much traffic, right? That's why I wanna leave my job. This is logical outcomes, keep in mind, logical and emotional outcomes can both be used for pain and goals. Okay, so whenever you're in pain, you want to get the logical and emotional outcome of it. So for example, working too many hours, and then how does that make them feel, right? The fact that they're working too many hours, okay? And then for goals, it's the same thing as well. They want to make 20K a month, cool. How would that make them feel for them to make 20K a month? Because again, as humans, we're always chasing some sort of feeling, whether you're conscious of it or you're not. That same reason why you wanna make 10K a month, 20K a month, 100K a month, $1 million a month, you wanna chase that goal subconsciously because you feel like you're gonna feel a certain way, whether it's gonna make you feel safe, it's gonna make you feel secure within your finances, you don't have to stress about bills anymore, you wanna retire your wife, you wanna take your family on vacation, whatever it is, you're always chasing some sort of feeling. And that's, it's an emotional outcome, okay? So let's get back into it. So work, let's say traffic, can't spend enough time with family, not getting paid enough. So here are logical outcomes. You're working too many hours, you're tired of the traffic when you go to work, not enough time with the family, and then not enough money. Now the emotional outcome, I'm gonna do the emotional outcome for each of these, okay? The emotional outcome for working too many hours, I would say, gotcha, so the fact that you're working, 80 hours a week, what's that like? Boom, they're gonna give me the emotions. Well, I hate it. They're drained / tired from the traffic. So not spending enough time with the family, they feel distant, they miss them, and then not enough money, they're stressed out. So you got the logical outcomes here. They're working 80 hours a week, they hate it, right? That's the emotional outcome. This is logically how they feel in pain. Emotionally, they hate it, okay? It takes them an hour or two to get to work because of the traffic. They're drained, they're tired because of it, right? They're not spending enough time with their family. It's making them feel distant and miss their family more. They don't have enough money, they're not making enough money from work, they're stressed out because they can't pay the bills. Logical outcome, emotional outcome. We get it? Cool. All right, so the first outcome you wanna get before setting them is the intent. Now this can be logical and emotional, okay? So hey John, what was the intent behind signing up for the free course, right? That's typically what you're gonna ask, okay? Now the second thing is the logical outcome, okay, like we just mentioned. So this right here is typically the logical outcome that they're looking for. Are they trying to make 20K a month? Are they trying to leave their job? What is it logically that they're trying to do? The third thing is emotional outcome. So let's say, for example, he's trying to leave his 9 to 5. Gotcha, how would that make you feel, right? Obviously, we're not asking how would that make you feel. That's the most salesy question in the fucking world. But what we're asking is, okay, cool, so you hate your 9 to 5 because there's a lot of drama at work and you're not able to see your family. Gotcha, what's that like? The fact that you're only able to see your family for 3 hours out of the week, right? Or something like that. Well, I hate it, right? Boom, emotional outcome. You hate it? What do you mean by you hate it? Well, yeah, I hate it because, I feel distant from my family. I'm not able to see my kids grow up as much as I want to. I feel like they're growing up without me. They're becoming distant from me. All this extra stuff, right? That's when you get into the emotion. Now, the fourth thing is impact. It's literally what I just said, right? What's that like? Instead of asking what type of impact does it have on you or what kind of position does that put you in, I just simply ask, what's that like, right? Or what's it like, XYZ. You always want to insert whatever it is that they just said that they're struggling with because you want to contextualize it. Keep in mind, if you do not contextualize impact, I'm gonna write this down as well. If you do not contextualize on impact, I can promise you it is not going to work. I wanna say this again. If you do not contextualize your impact questions by asking, what's that like? I promise you this will not work. I've had a lot of setters try to ask impact questions and they either get pushback, prospect will either just deflect and say, hey, why are you asking me all these questions? You have to contextualize it. You can't just say, hey, John, what happens in the next 6 to 12 months if you don't do anything about this? they've heard that question a million fucking times. Now, the fifth thing is timing. All right, so this right here is just pretty much making sure that they have time to do your program. So for example, if you're on a trading offer, make sure that they have the time set aside to be able to trade during market hours and using your trading strategy. Capital, this is the sixth thing. You want to make sure that they have the money liquid at the moment and that they're able to purchase your program on the next sales call. How you want to double down? First off, you say, hey, how much do you have set aside to be able to make 20K a month so that way you can leave your 9 to 5? You always want to contextualize it, right? Insert whatever their goals are because it hits that much harder. And then once they say, oh yeah, I have about like 5K or 3K to invest, gotcha. Now, is that something that we have at the moment? The reason why I'm asking is because sometimes people, when I ask that question, sometimes people will say, yeah, I have it. It's just going to take me a few weeks to get it. Or I'm waiting for this deal to close, or it's tied up in the real estate. Is that the case with you? Is there something that you have that's available? Or is it something that's liquid? Just so I understand, I'm not asking for it now. And then they'll typically say, oh yeah, I have it now. Or if not, they'll say, no, it's going to take me some time to get it. Boom. You just saved your closer some time from hopping on the call with that lead. And now you can just book them in once they do have the money. Or if it's going to take them some time regardless to get the money, let's say a week from now, and they need to see whatever it is that you guys are offering first to be able to liquidate the funds, then what you want to do is you want to book them on the call with your closer, but let your closer know beforehand, hey, this person just needs to see the value to liquidate their funds. So just letting you know they probably won't close on this call, but you can get a deposit. Boom, you're good to go. The last thing is authority. So this right here is pretty much your spouse / partner. This right here is just pretty much making sure that they have their spouse or partner on the call. You want to double down on this all the time. Take a screenshot of this if you want. I'm about to erase it and give you guys the specific questions that I have my setters ask or what this discovery process looks like on a regular call, okay? But just to let you guys know, these are the 7 outcomes to get before you actually set the call. Intent, logical, and emotional. This is typically the question you ask, like, hey, what was the intent behind signing up for the free course? Second thing, logical outcome. Third thing, emotional outcome. Fourth thing, impact. Make sure you contextualize impact questions. Fifth thing, timing. Do they even have the time to do this? The sixth thing, capital. Do they have the money liquid? 7, authority. And yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna give you guys the exact framework on what it looks like. All right, so the first question in the discovery framework is, what was the intent? The first question, since the first outcome we wanna get is the intent, the first question is gonna be, what was the intent behind getting the free training? Okay, and like I said, there's 2 outcomes we'll get from this. A, logical and emotional. Now, the biggest thing that I want to know as the setter, and I see so many setters not understanding this, but the reason why we're even asking this question, and that's another thing, if you guys don't understand the questions, the reasoning behind your questions, you're not going to get the answers that you want because you're just asking questions just to ask. But if you understand why we're asking this question here, I promise you, you will know exactly what answers you want to get, and you're going to get the right answers because you know what you're looking for, right? So, for example, I know with this question, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's currently going on in their life to work. Let's say I'm selling a trading offer, right? Let's say I'm a setter, I'm setting for a trading offer. What's currently going on in their life to where they need trading, to where they want to make money with trading, to where they want to work with X offer owner, whatever your offer owner's name is, right? Let's say your offer owner's name is Adam. What's currently going on in their life to where they want to work with Adam. That's what I want to figure out. They're usually either running away from something or they're running towards something. 9 times out of 10, they're usually running away from something and then trying to run towards something, all right? So just keep this in mind. Now, the second question is, what makes them say that, okay? So they're typically gonna say, yeah, well, I mean, I just wanna leave my 9 to 5, or I just wanna get help with my psychology, or I just wanna get help with building a business, an Amazon FBA business. Really, what makes you say that, right? Again, we wanna clarify on that. We wanna probe deeper. So keep in mind, let's say, yeah, what was the intent behind getting the free training? Typically, you're gonna get emotional outcome. Yeah, I wanna leave my 9 to 5. Gotcha. Now, I'm trying to figure out again, what is happening in their life to where they wanna work with your offer owner or what you're selling. Now, the second thing, what makes you say that? What makes you say you want to leave your 9 to 5? Oh, well, I want to leave my 9 to 5 because I want to be able to make more money. Really? Why? Or how come? Typically, if you ask how come, it lands better because why can be seen as confrontational, especially if you say it in a monotone tone. Like your tone is everything. Keep in mind when you're asking these questions, because if you sound like super monotone when you're asking these questions, they're not going to hit the same. You always want to probe deeper. What makes you say that? How come? Why? And then typically they're either open up to you, and if not, you got to keep on probing until you get this answer, until you get the reason behind, well, what's their intent. Now, the third thing is, why do they want to get help from your offer owner? Why do they want help from your offer owner specifically, okay? These are the type of questions that you can ask if they're being very vague with you, but is it for financial freedom? Is it for location freedom? Is it for time freedom? Is it to be profitable? Is it to leave the 9 to 5? Is it to spend more time with your kids, with your family? What is it, right? These are the typical answers. And keep in mind, since this is like the offer that you're on, if you've been here for a while, you're gonna get typically the same type of answers. Usually you're gonna get either between around 3 to 5 of the same answers. You get the occasional like few answers here and there that you don't hear very often, but I can guarantee you, when you're on your offer, when you've been setting for quite some time, you're typically gonna get the same 3 to 5 answers. So just make sure you write that down or you keep a mental note of that. You start asking questions that give you those answers. Okay, now 3.5 is why/what have they experienced that makes them say that, okay? What's the ultimate goal, all right? Now this is the emotional outcome. I'm looking for some sort of emotion here, okay? So for example, they're looking for help from your offer owner. If they want, let's say, financial freedom, what have they experienced that's making them feel like they don't have financial freedom? Or what have they experienced that's making them feel like they aren't profitable with, if let's say it's a trading offer? What have they experienced/seen that's making them say that they aren't profitable at the moment? What have they seen/experienced that's making them feel like they want to leave 9 to 5? Or what's the ultimate goal? Because typically sometimes I can understand if you are asking these questions and they don't give you like a goal in mind, you can just ask, okay, what's the ultimate goal? Okay, this will give you an emotional outcome. Typically, are they feeling tired from their job / the way they're trading, if you're selling a trading offer / the way that they're running their ads, or if you're e-commerce, whatever it is that you're offering, whatever it is that you're selling, all right? Now, the fourth question is a duration question. Now, keep in mind, whenever you do ask duration questions, you have to ask situational questions first, like what and why typically first, before you get into how long have we been feeling this way for, because once you do ask the duration question, it does expand the gap and it just hits the pain, it just hits them that much harder. How long have they been feeling this way for, okay? How long have you been feeling like this? Now, the reason why you don't want to say how long has this been currently going on for, or how long have you been struggling with this, is because typically when you say that, it doesn't hit the same. I got this from my mentor, the thought concept versus felt concept. Whenever you ask a question in terms of how someone feels, it hits a lot harder because it hits their emotional side of their brain and they can feel it, right? They don't need to think about how they feel, okay? But when you ask them, okay, how long have you been struggling this way? They have to think about it and there's no emotion tied to it. And keep in mind, humans make decisions based off of emotions. So if you ask them, well, how long have you been feeling this way for? Or how long have you been feeling but the fact that you've been annoyed by your coworkers and they're just talking all this drama? Or how long have you been feeling like you're drained of working a 9 to 5 every single day? Or how long have you been feeling that the way that you've been trading has not been working? And the reason why we're asking this again is to get an emotional outcome. All right, so number 5, why do they feel like they aren't there at their goals yet? Okay, now this could be interchangeable with number 4. So you can honestly have that at number 4, or you can have it after the feeling question. Again, this gets you an emotional outcome. Well, I feel like, and this gets them to admit that, hey, they're doing something wrong in the process and that they do need help. Very simple. So number 6, so this is the impact question, okay? This is the question, whenever you ask impact questions the right way, this will honestly just break everything, and any type of guard or any type of defense that the prospect had, and just get them to just open up and really commit. Pretty much just lay down everything, right, to you. So what's it like? Insert what they're experiencing, right? This gets me impact, again, and you always want to make sure that you're contextualizing, okay? Because if we don't contextualize, you're gonna sound salesy. You will sound salesy, but especially when you're asking impact questions. So again, what is contextualize? It just means just tailor it towards the situation. If this person is trying to leave the 9 to 5, what's it like the fact that you have to work a 9 to 5, 80 hours a week, and you're not able to see your family? And the last 2 questions is pretty much a consequence question. So what you're gonna ask is, so what happens if we continue, enter what they've been experiencing, okay? For another, enter how long they've been feeling up here. Okay, notice how the questions you ask, you have to actually remember and listen, right? In order for you to ask these consequence questions, in order for it to hit hard, all right? As you guys know, for number 4, we asked how long have you been feeling this way for to get an emotional outcome. In consequence question, we're gonna do the same thing. And notice how I'd mentioned here, what's it like into what they've been experiencing. So when it comes all together, so what happens if we continue to work another 90 hours every single week, not being able to see your kids for another 3 years, right? And keep in mind, I'm not saying 6 to 12 months just because I heard it on YouTube from some guru. I'm going to say how long they've been feeling this way for number 4. So if they told me up here they've been feeling this way for 3 years, I'm gonna put in 3 years here, okay? If they told me they've been feeling this way for a month, I'm gonna say for a month. If they told me 10 years, I'm gonna say 10 years. I'm not gonna say 6 to 12 months or 6 months just because I heard it on YouTube from someone, okay? I'm gonna say exactly what they told me because again, this whole discovery is for them. It's for me to help them overcome whatever it is that they're dealing with. Right? So I need to be listening. What happens if we continue trading this way? You're in the red, you're losing $1,000 a day for another month. So what happens if we continue not being able to find the right product to sell on your e-commerce store for another 2 years? It hits a lot harder. After that, I'm gonna ask, well, what would that mean, right? What would that mean to you? It's just like the downward arrow technique that I was showing you guys on one of my other videos. But what would that mean hit so hard? Because it's like, well, man, I mean, that would suck, right? Obviously it would suck, but like, what would that mean for you? I mean, it would mean that I can't sell e-commerce anymore. I have to go back to a 9 to 5, or I can't trade anymore, you know, or I'd have to go back to 9 to 5, or that means I'd lose my house, or that means that I'd be a terrible person, right? Eventually, once you get down to it, this gets you to identity and they start to label themselves as a type of person, which we don't really need to do on a setting call. But that's just, when you get down deep enough, that's typically where you go. After this, all you wanna do is just financially qualify and set, okay? So after you ask what would that mean, you just wanna financially qualify and then set them. It's very simple. This is the Simple Discovery Framework. If you guys want access to this document that I have on Google Docs, just comment the word simple and I will send it over to you. If you guys found this helpful, send this to a friend of yours that is a setter, business owner, a manager, that you think this can help their setting team out. Now, if you know an offer or a setting team that needs help with the setting process that can increase their show rate, or the setters need to get trained, just message me on Instagram at TheRareandThomas. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, peace.